Yes, and today I want to share with you this topic that is revolutionizing construction procurement with blockchain and smart contract to obtain more transparency and objectivity in the evaluation of the tenders. Some of the issues which affect the construction industry are particularly significant in this phase in public procurement, as despite the large impact on the European GDP and also the investments of the European countries, in particular for the introduction of the e-procurement platforms, there is still great room for improvement. Indeed, the processes are still taught as paper-based rather than data-driven, resulting in struggling information management. And nowadays, currently, you have to collect the information about the biddings through a lot of documents, so it is quite struggling. So this sector is quite inefficient and prone to corruption and also fraud. In particular, in Italy, there is a wide range, wide margins for improvement, as it has low performances with respect to other European countries. This is due to the lack of digital tools and data-driven models, and also to the lack of regulation which allows to fully exploit the digitalization and the BIM models for the evaluation of the tenders. So a step forward is needed to effectively exploit this digital potential. An improvement in public procurement can, even by 1%, can produce a saving of 43 billion per year. So public clients are big buyers and they can lead the market towards efficient and more sustainable processes. This is key also for the objectives of the Agenda 2030, as promoted also by the NRPP. So the European directives strongly promote the adoption of digital and data-driven approaches to enhance the productivity in this phase. So this another thing that is strongly promoted is the adoption of green public procurement, which requires the adoption of the most economically advantageous tender criterion. And this criterion requires the evaluation of quantitative and qualitative criteria. So it deals with the management of a lot of data. So in this case, data-driven approaches could be very efficient. Blockchain and smart contract can improve so the traditional contract execution, leading to have contractual clauses expressed in a computational language, and so also enabling the automatization of some processes and tasks. The smart contracts can be drafted as a ledger recording every information exchange between the stakeholders, and so it is possible to have the contractual terms, bids evaluation criteria, and notice documents translated into a smart contract which can be unchangeable and also shared between all the stakeholders. Also, the bids can be deposited on a web platform, and so a transparent awarding process can be ensured. At the same, current approaches should be revised in a model-based and open-source perspective. So the main idea is that the system can run on a web platform that includes data, IFC models, and processes formalizing BPM and so on machine readable. The client publishes the tender documentation, the bidders can download it, produce its bid, and then upload the FC bidding models and other documentation. They are assigned an hash and automatically checked against the client's and regulation information requirements. So non-compliant models can be discarded and the compliant ones can be evaluated by the judging commission through the use of algorithms. So the awarded model is also notarized, and this ensures the integrity and also serves as a digital benchmark to evaluate the other phases of the construction project. So how to reach this objective? A replicable methodology was developed. It foresees 4 phases, that is the BPM BPMN normalization of the procurement and criteria evaluation process, then the identification of the information requirements mapped in IFC standard, the conversion of the IFC models in CSV sheets to extrapolate the data needed for the evaluation directly from the BIM models, and finally, analytic dashboards can be exploited to visualize and compare directly the bids. Thus, the design bid procurement was formalized in BPMN. There are 4 lanes, the one the web platform, and then the 2 lanes above, which are of the public clients and the judging committee, and the lane below that is the one for the bidders. All exchanges are notarized via blockchain through the platform, and the public client initiates the process by depositing the tender documents. So the bidding models can also be notarized, and there will be a smart contract which records the verification results and triggers the smart contract for bids evaluation against the wording criteria. This one triggers the evaluation only if acceptance thresholds are met. Then there is another smart contract for the wording phase, and the wording model is secured and for the downstream use. The most critical part in developing a smart contract concerns the design of the business logic. So we thought to exploit generative AI like GPT-4 to automate the drafting of the smart contract. This leads a lot of advantages, such as the reduction in time, cost, and also errors. And it also cuts down on legal and development costs, ensuring consistency across multiple contracts, and accelerates also the development cycle, of course. However, it is crucial to have high quality data, and also to review for the regulatory compliance, and also maintain a human which oversees and validates the generation of the contract. As stated, the European Commission is strongly promoting the digitalization and introduction of data-driven processes. I know, I go ahead. And also the adoption of GPP. But there are still many lacks, in particular due to the lack of digital tools. The methodology was assessed through a design build procurement for a new school near Milan, starting from the semi-automated evaluation of waste management criteria. At that time, GPP were not required, but there were some criteria similar to that ones, and this case study was exploited as a pilot case to demonstrate the potential of information modeling. So, in particular, the criterion which required the development and implementation of a waste management plan to maximize the quantities of reused and recycled materials. So the information requirements were defined and exported through IFC with a customized property set, which includes the European Waste Code and also the 4 percentages of quantities needed, which are reused, recycled, and landfilled hazardous or not materials. I skip. To the right here you can see the description of the protocol. To the left, the code of the smart contract that rules the bidding. In red there are some constraints, and in black you can also see an example of the interface. This is an abstraction of the transaction which is sent for bidding for project 1329 with 2 encrypted pieces of information and a deposit of $1,000. Here there is the validation phase, the protocol, and also to the left the interface for voting experts. In particular, it checks that the voter is recognized as an expert, that the format of the vote and also the phase are correct. Then the vote is recorded, and finally an event outside of the blockchain network is emitted and every expert can just cast 1 vote. Here the final phase, which is the wording phase. To the right, the protocol, the final word phase, and the properties which are guaranteed. To the left, you can see the smart contract that uses the quantified bid for determine the best bid. So the winner is awarded and their address, their proxy, is identified. The award of the research lies in the full digitalization with the introduction of full transparency and also sharing information among the stakeholders, the ability to quickly check the environmental protocols, so promote GPP adoption, and blockchain and smart contracts allows, of course, for the information tracking and also ensuring reliability and confidentiality. They also enable to automate the verification, the evaluation, and the wording of the bids. There are, of course, also some challenges, such as the definition of the information requirements, introducing an IC property set for each criterion which should be evaluated. Also, the switch to the distribute process approach with full transparency, the lack of IT skills among our sector and public clients, and last but not least, it will be key controlling also the carbon footprints. So it will be nice to exploit sustainable data centers for managing big data. So future research will address these challenges. Thank you for the attention.